Hi, I'm Kathy Henry, and I am a licensed clinical social worker in the Indianapolis area, and I'm proud to work for Healing Hearts of Indy. Today, I want to talk about, does marriage counseling actually work? If you are interested in that question, then you are either considering marriage counseling, or maybe you are in marriage counseling and you're wondering if it will work, if it will be successful for you or not. And it's a very valid question. We all get married hoping that marriage will be fulfilling and enhance our lives. We're looking at the positive benefits that are going to come from it, and that's what I want for you as well. But most of us fail to predict the not so glamorous side of marriage, the part that is hard and requires us to consider someone other than ourselves. So when things start to go awry or get a little sideways in our marriage, we look to marriage counseling to get things back on track. So, does marriage counseling actually work? It absolutely does work if both parties can get themselves to a place where they are ready to grow as individuals. And a lot of times we get people questioning, why are we here to talk about ourselves as individuals when I'm here for marriage counseling? And that's a very valid question. But the point of that is that we have to first be two stable, healthy, mature individuals before we can have a stable, healthy, mature marriage. It's kind of like the foundation. We have to have the foundation solid before we can build on that and have something grow together as a couple. We have to have two solid, stable individuals. Marriage counseling is not very successful, at least initially, if one or both parties are intent on changing the other person. And that's where we spend a lot of our time initially is working on that. There's a book called Reconcilable Differences by Jim Talley, and he in fact will not even work with a couple to try to reconcile a couple that's been separated or even divorced and try to bring them back together. He won't even work with them until both parties are what he considers stable, meaning that they are able to be okay, they're able to be alone, but both parties have to be stable before he will even work with them. And a lot of our initial work in marriage counseling is in helping individuals to stabilize and to learn that they can be okay in or out of that relationship. That is a stable position, knowing that you can be okay in or out of the relationship. So when people come in for marriage counseling, they're usually so focused on the marriage that they forget that they have to work on themselves as well. They're trying to get what they need through the other person, and they need to get that other person to cooperate with them. So in order to be stable, we need to be able to be alone. We need to be able to when our partner pulls away from us, we need to know that we're going to be okay. Even if they're pulled away from us, whether it's for half an hour or they've decided they can't be with us forever, we need to be able to be okay. I'm not saying you're going to feel okay, but you need to know that you're going to be okay ultimately. We also need to be, in order to be stable, we need to be in touch with our own needs. We need to know ourselves and know what we need and be able to articulate it to the other person. The other thing is that we need to be able to get our needs met in a healthy way, with or without our partner. And a lot of us, again, we are so focused on getting our needs met through our partner that we can't see any other way to get our needs met. So if we are too dependent upon our partner to get our needs met, then our choices are limited to either going without getting our needs met or coercing our partner to meet them for us. Well, you can imagine that's a train wreck waiting to happen, because if our partner won't cooperate and then I have to get my needs met, my only other option is not get my needs met, then my focus is going to go right back to my partner. So I always tell people, if not being in the relationship is not an option, then you will do anything you have to do to stay in the relationship. So let me say that again. If not being in the relationship is not an option, then you will do anything you have to do to stay. If not being in the relationship is not an option, then you will do anything that you have to do to stay in the relationship. This creates a level of desperation and dependence where we are willing to abandon ourselves and or our needs in order to get the relationship to continue. Then we blame our partner for abandoning us. And many people are very full into this cycle when they first arrive in marriage counseling, and it's obviously a very difficult task to get people out of that cycle and moving on to realizing that they have choices in the relationship other than the ones that they can see in that moment. As a marriage counselor, I see my job as trying to help people to see the bigger picture. Saying you need to be able to see yourself outside of this relationship doesn't sound like a comment from someone who is trying to save marriages. But just getting marriages to stay together is not my goal. That is a short-term solution at best. That's a Band-Aid approach. My goal is to teach people how to be healthy and stable and mature in their relationship so that there are two people that are healthy individuals, and those two people can then make a healthy, stable marriage. But if you have one person who's healthy and stable in the relationship and the other person is not, then you do not really have, you can't have a healthy marriage. You can't have a stable relationship. If you have two people that are healthy and stable in the relationship, then you can have a healthy relationship. The third option is that both people stay unhealthy and they can kind of gimp the marriage along, but eventually they'll either stay together and be miserable, or they will at some point get healthier, or they'll break apart. So that's generally what happens. My job or my goal is to get people to stay together but also be healthy in the relationship, be stable and healthy in the relationship, and be in the relationship by choice, not out of desperation. So I don't want to help people just learn how to survive their marriages. I want people to learn how to thrive in their marriages and have their marriage be a vital living organism that is helping them to grow as an individual. So in answer to the question, does marriage counseling work? It absolutely works if both people in the marriage are willing to work on themselves and look at what they need to change instead of just focusing on their partner. Those couples who can eventually shift their focus from getting their partner to change to how to change themselves, marriage counseling will be wildly successful for them. For many people, myself included, marriage counseling has been one of the greatest blessings of my life because it helped me to see what I needed to change inside of me. If you are ready to grow and learn things about yourself, marriage counseling will absolutely change your life. Counseling is exactly what you need, whether it's individual or marriage counseling. If you are sick of the way that your partner is treating you, we can help you with that. We may not be able to get your partner to change, but we can certainly help you change so that you can have the life that you want. And if you're tired of your partner trying to change you, then we can help you to see what your partner is trying to show you and help you determine if a real change is needed. Marriage counseling might just be the look in the mirror that can show you what you have been needing in your life. Thank you so much for listening.